Have you ever stopped to wonder what would happen if the love of your life appeared when you least expected it? Imagine a moment in your ordinary day suddenly turning into a turning point of destiny, where every breath feels charged with possibility, and every glance holds the promise of something extraordinary. This question opens a window into a world filled with unexpected encounters and delicate emotions, where ordinary lives of expats in the Philippines are touched by experiences that defy explanation and challenge the boundaries of fate. In a country known for its warm smiles and gentle breezes, countless expats have found themselves immersed in a reality that goes far beyond their initial dreams. Many of these individuals arrive seeking new beginnings, fresh experiences, or the chance to reinvent themselves. Yet, sometimes it is love that redefines their journey in ways they never imagined. The streets of Manila, the tranquil shores of Palawan, or the vibrant communities scattered across Cebu are not just places to live. They are the backdrops to stories of romance that unfold with the subtlety of a soft sunset. These stories remind us that life, with all its twists and turns, often presents us with opportunities that can change the course of our existence. As you listen to these tales, you might recall your own experiences of chance meetings and fleeting moments. There is something incredibly moving about the idea that every person we cross paths with may carry a message from the universe, a reminder that love is both unpredictable and powerful. For some expats, this love comes in the form of a friend, who eventually becomes a partner, a local who shows them a side of the country that is hidden from the usual tourist routes, or even a serendipitous encounter on a quiet evening that blossoms into an unforgettable connection. These stories resonate with a simple truth. The heart often knows what the mind cannot comprehend, and it dares to hope even in the midst of uncertainty. The emotional tapestry of these experiences is woven with moments of longing, joy, and sometimes regret. For every expat who finds love, there is another who watches as the chance slips away, leaving behind memories that are both sweet and tinged with sorrow. Yet, it is in the sharing of these narratives that a collective wisdom is born. Through laughter, tears, and shared reflections, these individuals teach us that love is not always about grand gestures or dramatic revelations. It is often found in the quiet moments of understanding, in the gentle support during times of struggle, and in the shared hope for a better tomorrow. Listening to these heartwarming and sometimes bittersweet stories, one begins to understand that every encounter holds its own meaning, and every connection can alter the course of life. There is a beauty in the vulnerability of opening up to the possibility of love, even when the outcome is uncertain. It is a reminder that every moment is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to embrace the full spectrum of human emotion. The language of the heart, spoken in simple yet profound words, cuts through cultural differences and unites us in the universal quest for connection and understanding. As we delve deeper into these personal accounts, the intricate dance between fate and free will becomes more apparent. How do these expats navigate the delicate balance between holding on to hope and letting go of what was, and how do their choices shape their future in a land that is as unpredictable as it is enchanting? This next part of our exploration will invite you to consider the subtle signals of destiny and the unexpected ways in which love weaves its magic in the everyday lives of those who dare to dream. When he first arrived in the Philippines, he felt as if he had stepped into a world that was both foreign and welcoming, a place where the warm sunshine and gentle breeze seemed to whisper promises of new beginnings. In those early days, he met a Filipina whose presence lit up even the dullest moments of his travel-weary days. She had an easy smile and eyes that shone with sincerity, a quiet strength that spoke of countless days spent working hard, and a heart that embraced life with genuine care. From the very moment their paths crossed, he felt a connection that was rare and pure, as if fate had finally led him to find what he had long been searching for. Her kindness was not simply an act for visitors, but a way of life ingrained in her being, and every gesture she made, whether offering him a cup of freshly brewed coffee or guiding him through the winding streets of her hometown, was filled with a gentle grace that captured his admiration. He soon discovered that her nature was built on qualities he held dear. She was compassionate, patient, and always willing to help without expecting anything in return. In her, he found the embodiment of loyalty and trustworthiness, a woman who carried the weight of her responsibilities with a quiet dignity that both humbled and inspired him. Her days were filled with work and care, as she balanced the demands of her job, family, and community with an ease that seemed almost magical. This was not a life of luxury or extravagance, but one where the simple acts of kindness and honesty were treasured above all. Every time they spent a few moments together, whether sharing a meal or walking along a sandy shore at dusk, he could feel her heart open up to him in a way that promised a future filled with understanding and deep connection. Yet as the days turned into weeks, and the initial glow of discovery began to fade into the steady rhythm of life, he found himself listening to the voices of other expats who had come to the Philippines in search of their own adventures. Their tales were full of excitement and freedom, and they spoke of endless possibilities to explore a country so rich in culture and beauty. Influenced by these stories of unbounded exploration and the lure of meeting new people, he began to wonder if the singular connection he had found was enough for him. Slowly, he started to entertain the thought that perhaps there were other opportunities out there, other faces in the crowd that could offer him something new and different. The certainty he once felt began to waver under the weight of their opinions, and he started to believe that by exploring more options, he might find an even deeper fulfillment than he had with the one he already cherished. In the quiet moments of his heart, he felt a growing restlessness, a yearning to see if there was more to love than the steady, reliable warmth of the Filipina who had captured his attention. The excitement of adventure mingled with the fear of missing out, and soon he decided to take a step that would change the course of his life. He chose to follow the enticing narratives of others, leaving behind the familiar comfort of her gentle affection for the uncertain thrill of chasing after something that promised variety and novelty. Every meeting with new faces, every smile exchanged with someone unfamiliar, became a small detour from the life he had begun to build, a detour that gradually led him further away from the one person who had truly understood him. As he ventured into this maze of possibilities, the vibrant local culture of the Philippines, which once had felt like an embrace, now appeared as a labyrinth of choices that left him both excited and overwhelmed. Nights spent in lively conversations with fellow expats, days filled with invitations to social gatherings, and the ever-present lure of new experiences all contributed to a growing sense of self-doubt. He began to question if his own desires were truly his own, or if they had been shaped by the alluring tales of a life filled with endless romantic escapades and fleeting connections. Deep down, there was an echo of regret that he tried to ignore, a small voice that reminded him of the comfort and genuine care he had found in the warmth of her presence. However, as the days passed and his exploration continued, the reality of his decision began to crystallize into a profound sense of loss. In the midst of new adventures and superficial excitement, he found that the unique and irreplaceable bond he had shared with her was slowly fading into memory. The more he looked for something different, the more he realized that he had taken for granted the beauty of a love that was deep and sincere. Every new connection felt hollow compared to the steadfast reliability of her smile, and every fleeting encounter lacked the depth of understanding that came from knowing someone truly. The charm of novelty was gradually replaced by a bitter taste of regret as he began to see that what he had lost was not just an opportunity for romance, but a chance to experience a profound connection that many spend a lifetime searching for. He started to recall the moments when she had patiently listened to his dreams and fears, when her reassuring words had given him the courage to believe in himself, and when her subtle gestures of love made him feel like he was exactly where he belonged. With each passing day, the regret grew heavier, as he realized that the decision to seek more options was not about finding a better version of love, but rather a misguided attempt to escape the comfort of commitment. It was a harsh lesson in understanding that the allure of the unknown often overshadows the enduring beauty of what is already present, and that sometimes the most valuable things in life are the ones we take for granted until they are gone. In the quiet solitude of his heart, he began to face the truth of his own choices and the deep lingering sorrow of knowing that by chasing after fleeting excitement, he had allowed something truly remarkable to slip away. His mind would wander back to the days when her voice filled his world with hope, and her touch had made every moment feel significant. The loss of that connection left him with an emptiness that no new adventure could fill, a constant reminder that his haste had led him away from a love that was as rare as it was genuine. The bittersweet memory of her presence was like a soft echo in his soul, a reminder of all that he had lost by choosing momentary thrills over lasting happiness. As the realization settled in, he was left with a deep understanding of the impact of his decisions, a lesson that carried with it both the weight of regret and the hope of someday learning from the past. The vibrant tapestry of his experiences in the Philippines now included not only the bright colors of new adventures, but also the somber shades of a love that was once so promising and pure. The journey through those days was marked by a silent mourning for the chance he had missed, a quiet reckoning with the knowledge that in the pursuit of variety, he had abandoned the very thing that could have brought him true fulfillment. Yet, even as regret painted his thoughts with shades of sorrow and longing, there remained a spark of curiosity about how such profound lessons would shape his future. What would be the next step in his path of self-discovery? And how would he reconcile the loss of a love so sincere with the endless possibilities that life in the Philippines still had to offer? When my friend first landed in the Philippines, he carried with him an eager heart and a suitcase full of dreams, yet he soon discovered that the reality of a new country was both exciting and challenging in ways he had never imagined. In the early days after his arrival, everything seemed unfamiliar. The bright morning sun and the soothing rhythm of life, the warmth of the local people, and the gentle hum of everyday conversations in a language that was simple yet profoundly expressive. During those first few weeks, he stepped out each day with hope, venturing into crowded markets, quiet coffee shops, and bustling city streets, all the while searching for that special connection that would transform his experience abroad. However, despite his best intentions, his attempts at meeting people for romantic encounters did not go as smoothly as he had envisioned. Each date and every chance encounter felt like a lesson in the art of trying to connect in a land where customs and traditions differed from what he was used to. He often found himself sitting in a small eatery in one of Manila's quieter neighborhoods, pondering over a cup of steaming Barako coffee, wondering if he was simply not meant to find that spark, or if perhaps he was missing a secret ingredient in the recipe of love. In the midst of these initial setbacks, as he navigated the winding streets and the unpredictable emotions that come with starting over in a foreign place, he began to feel a mixture of loneliness and frustration. The more he tried, the more elusive the right connection seemed to be, and every failed encounter left him with a lingering sense of uncertainty about his place in this vibrant but complicated tapestry of life. It was during one of these reflective moments, as he strolled along a quiet beach with the soft murmur of waves in the background, that he encountered a woman whose presence was both calming and invigorating. She was unlike anyone he had met before. Her smile was warm and genuine, her eyes kind and full of life, and the simplicity of her manner was as refreshing as the cool sea breeze that swept along the shore. Her name was Liza, and from the very start, there was something about her that felt transformative. Liza was a humble soul, deeply rooted in the traditions and values of her community. She worked hard every day, dedicating herself to a small business that she had built with her own hands, and she carried herself with an independence that commanded respect without any need for grand gestures or loud proclamations. Her life was marked by the steady rhythm of duty and compassion, and she was well known in her neighborhood, not only for her dedication to her work, but also for her willingness to help others, whether it was offering a kind word or sharing a modest meal with someone in need. As my friend got to know her, he realized that Liza embodied the qualities he had been searching for, even though they had been hidden behind the curtain of initial disappointments and fleeting encounters. Their first conversation took place in a quiet corner of a local park, under the shade of an old acacia tree. The language they shared was simple, filled with gentle words that conveyed sincerity and warmth. In that moment, as he listened to her soft-spoken tales of family, struggle, and dreams, my friend began to understand the true meaning of connection. Liza was not flashy or overtly romantic in the way that many stories he had heard from other expats might have suggested. Instead, she was real, authentic, and completely unpretentious. Her life was marked by a quiet strength and a profound sense of responsibility that resonated deeply with him. In her, he found a reflection of his own desire for something lasting and genuine, something that went beyond the superficial thrills of new experiences. As their friendship grew, The initial hesitations that had plagued him slowly began to melt away. Liza's gentle demeanor and steady determination to live life with honesty and purpose acted as a counterbalance to the whirlwind of choices that the expat community often presented. There was a moment, one unremarkable day that became significant, in its simplicity, when he recalled a piece of advice that a seasoned expat had shared with him. The advice was clear and direct. Give a real chance to this relationship. Forget about other options for now and see how far it can go. Those words, spoken in a tone that carried both caution and encouragement, struck a deep chord within him. They made him pause and reflect on the scattered path he had been following, a path that had taken him from one fleeting encounter to another without ever allowing him to truly appreciate the beauty of a single connection. He started to see that, focusing on one person, on nurturing a bond that was built on trust, mutual respect, and genuine affection, could be a transformative experience. With Liza, every moment became a lesson in the art of living fully and sincerely. Their time together was marked by quiet dinners at small local eateries, where the aroma of freshly cooked adobo mingled with their soft conversation about hopes and memories. They wandered through bustling night markets where the vibrant colors of local crafts and the hum of friendly banter filled the air. In every encounter, whether it was a shared laugh during a sudden tropical downpour or a silent understanding, while watching the sunset over the horizon, he felt the subtle magic of a connection that was unforced and natural. As days turned into weeks, the decision to concentrate his heart on Liza began to reshape his entire outlook on life in the Philippines. The energy that once drove him to explore every possibility gradually transformed into a more focused, steady pulse that resonated with the certainty of a budding relationship. In choosing to honor the advice he had received, he found that the act of concentrating his attention on one person opened up a new world of experiences. The distractions of endless choices, the allure of exotic tales from fellow expats, and the perpetual search for something better slowly gave way to an appreciation for what was real and tangible. In the simplicity of shared meals, the quiet moments of understanding, and the gentle exchange of thoughts and dreams, he discovered that the true essence of happiness was not in chasing the unknown, but in fully embracing the one opportunity that had presented itself before him. Liza's impact on him was profound, and as he began to invest more time and emotion into their growing relationship, he noticed changes within himself. He became more patient, more reflective, and more willing to take time to understand the nuances of genuine affection. Instead of constantly comparing every new experience with what he had left behind, he started to appreciate the unique qualities that Liza brought to his life. Her resilience, her modesty, and her unwavering commitment to her values became a guiding light that helped him navigate the uncertainties of life abroad. In a land where everything seemed both familiar and mysterious at the same time, her steady presence offered him a sense of belonging that he had not felt since his first days of arrival. As the weeks passed, the transformation was not only internal, but also visible in the way he engaged with the world around him. He began to see the beauty in the mundane, the quiet dignity in everyday acts of kindness, the soft laughter that echoed through narrow alleys, and the understated grace of a life lived with purpose. His focus on Liza allowed him to experience these moments with a clarity and depth that he had not known before. Each day presented a new opportunity to learn about love, commitment, and the subtle art of prioritizing what truly matters. Even the simple act of waiting for her at the end of a long day, or the quiet comfort of her presence during challenging times, became a source of strength and inspiration. In this journey of rediscovery, he realized that the beauty of a relationship lies in its capacity to transform not just the way we interact with others, but the very way we perceive ourselves. Focusing on one person, on a bond that is nurtured, with care and honesty, had a ripple effect on every aspect of his life. It taught him the value of being present, of giving undivided attention to the moments that shape us, and of trusting that the path of genuine connection, although sometimes fraught with uncertainty, could lead to a richer, more meaningful existence. The simple yet profound advice to give a real chance to the relationship became a mantra that he carried with him, reminding him that the allure of the unknown often pales in comparison to the warmth of a steady, loving presence. As the seasons changed and the vibrant energy of the Philippine Islands continued to infuse his life with unexpected lessons, he found himself reflecting on the many facets of his own journey. The challenges of adapting to a new culture, the excitement of exploring a land so rich in traditions, and the subtle shifts in his own heart as he grew to appreciate the depth of Liza's character were all interwoven into a narrative that was as complex as it was beautiful. Every shared conversation, every quiet smile, and every moment of unspoken understanding contributed to a tapestry of experiences that gradually transformed his perspective on love and life. In focusing on one person, he not only discovered the true meaning of commitment, but also learned that sometimes the most transformative experiences come from letting go of the distractions and focusing on the one that truly matters. In the gentle unfolding of their days together, the transformation was not without its moments of introspection and even moments of doubt. Yet each challenge served as a reminder that real growth often comes from the willingness to commit wholeheartedly. Despite the uncertainties that accompany every new beginning, the process of focusing on Liza and allowing the relationship to blossom into something deep and enduring was a journey marked by quiet revelations and subtle shifts in perspective. It became clear that when we give our full attention to someone who touches our heart, we open ourselves up to a realm of experiences that enrich us in ways we never thought possible. The beauty of that realization was that it brought with it a gentle, unspoken promise that every challenge, every moment of hesitation, and every quiet joy shared with her was part of a larger story, a story of self-discovery, resilience, and the transformative power of love. As the days melded into one another and his connection with Liza grew ever more profound, he began to understand that this was not simply a chapter in his life, but a turning point that had the power to redefine his entire journey. The lessons he learned from focusing on her presence reshaped his understanding of what it means to truly care for someone, and in the process, he discovered a more authentic version of himself. In a world full of endless choices and tempting distractions, the act of committing to one person had shown him that sometimes the most valuable discoveries come from the willingness to invest in a single meaningful relationship. Each day brought with it the promise of new lessons, each smile from Liza a reminder of the beauty of genuine connection, and each shared moment a step towards understanding the true essence of love and commitment. Even as he embraced the transformative journey of focusing on one person, he remained aware that every new experience in this vibrant country held its own lessons and mysteries. The interplay of cultural differences, the blending of traditions, and the simple yet profound moments of human connection all wove together to create a narrative that was both deeply personal and universally resonant. In the end, his journey was not just about finding love in a new land, but about discovering that when you give yourself a chance to truly commit, the rewards can be far greater than any fleeting adventure could ever promise. And now, as he stands, on the threshold of yet another new day, the gentle murmur of the ocean and the soft rustle of the palm trees remind him that the journey of self-discovery is far from over, leaving him to wonder what other transformative lessons await as he continues to embrace the true art of living. For many years, he roamed the earth, driven by a desire to see new sights and learn from every corner of the world. His life had been filled with countless places, languages, and faces that blurred together into a long, winding tale of exploration. With every new city and country, he collected memories like precious stones, each one telling a part of a story that was entirely his. Yet, as he traveled through bustling metropolises and quiet hamlets, he often wondered if something vital was missing, a feeling of home, a sense of belonging that could not be found in a suitcase or a temporary address. It was a thought that lingered in his heart, even as he embraced the unknown with open arms. After decades of wandering, his restless spirit eventually led him to the Philippines, a country that had always held a secret allure for him. He had heard tales of its vibrant culture, its warm people, and its stunning landscapes, and he was eager to experience it for himself. The moment he set foot on its shores, he was greeted by a gentle warmth that went beyond the tropical heat. There was a simplicity in the smiles of the locals and an ease in the rhythm of life that made him feel as if he had finally arrived somewhere that might mend the quiet loneliness he had carried for so long. He spent his first days exploring the colorful streets of a small coastal town, where the sound of laughter mingled with the rhythmic beating of drums at local festivals. The markets overflowed with fresh produce and handmade crafts, and every corner he turned revealed something new. A kind greeting from a neighbor, a shared joke with a street vendor, or a glimpse of a community coming together in celebration. Despite his many years on the road, nothing in the world had ever felt as full of life as this place. There was an authenticity in every interaction, a raw and honest expression of humanity that touched him deeply. It was during one of these early days that he met her. She was unlike anyone he had encountered in all his years of travel. Her presence was soft and steady, marked by an inner strength that shone through in her every action. She moved with a quiet dignity that spoke of a life lived with purpose, and her smile was gentle yet full of promise. They met in a small sunlit cafe nestled near the beach, where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee blended with the salty tang of the sea. He had come in to rest for a moment, and there she was, sitting at a table with a look of calm assurance that immediately drew him in. Her name was Maria, and from the instant their eyes met, something unspoken passed between them. There was a sincerity in her gaze that made him feel as though she understood him in a way no one else ever had. They began to talk, first about small things, the weather, the taste of the coffee, the beauty of the day, but soon their conversation grew deeper, touching on their dreams, their past experiences, and the hopes they had for the future. In her words, he found echoes of the home he had long been searching for. Her voice was soft but confident, and every sentence carried a sense of resilience and care that resonated with his own longings. As the days turned into weeks, he found himself spending more time with Maria. They strolled along the beach at sunrise, sharing quiet moments as the sky shifted from deep purple to a warm, inviting orange. They visited local markets together, where Maria introduced him to the intricacies of Filipino cuisine, explaining how every dish had a story rooted in family and tradition. In these moments, he began to realize that he was not merely a visitor in this country. He was slowly becoming part of its fabric. The vibrant community welcomed him with open arms, and Maria, in particular, seemed to guide him through this new chapter of his life with gentle patience and understanding. One day, after many shared meals and long talks, Maria revealed something that would change everything. She told him in a quiet and steady tone that she was expecting a child. The words hung in the air like a delicate melody, unexpected yet filled with hope. In that instant, the wanderer felt his heart shift in ways he had never imagined possible. For so long, he had been adrift in the vast ocean of life, seeking meaning in every experience, but never staying in one place long enough to build something lasting. The news of Maria's pregnancy stirred emotions that he had long buried beneath, layers of travel-worn detachment. It was a call to responsibility, a chance to plant roots in soil that promised not only beauty, but also the comfort of family. In the days that followed, as he processed the news, he found himself wrestling with a mix of excitement, fear, and deep introspection. The thought of fatherhood, something he had once considered too heavy a commitment for a man of his wandering spirit, began to take shape in his mind. Maria, with her soft eyes and reassuring smile, seemed to embody a future he had never dared to dream about, a future where the endless search for meaning would be replaced by the quiet joy of nurturing a new life. He thought back on the years of solitude, the countless faces he had met along the way, and wondered if he had been searching for something that could only be found in the warmth of a family. Slowly, the idea of settling down began to resonate with him, not as a confinement of his free spirit, but as an opportunity to experience a different kind of adventure, a life filled with shared moments, challenges, and the pure, unspoken love that comes from caring for another. It was not an easy decision. The call of the open road, with its promise of endless discovery, still tugged at him like a familiar song. Yet, the responsibility that Maria had unwittingly placed on his shoulders also felt like a rare gift, an invitation to build something that would endure beyond the fleeting moments of travel. He recalled a saying he had once heard from an old friend, a fellow traveler who had found peace in settling down. The idea that true fulfillment comes not from the endless pursuit of the one new, but from the willingness to embrace what is valuable when it appears. With Maria, he felt that precious spark. Here was a woman who had given him a glimpse of a life that was rich with possibility, not in the number of places he could visit, but in the depth of connection he could share with those who mattered. As he began to take on this new role, his Days grew different from the ones he had known on the road. The rhythm of life in the Philippines offered him a gentle pace, a contrast to the relentless hurry of cities he had once traversed. Mornings were no longer a blur of hurried departures and fleeting encounters. They became moments of quiet reflection, of watching the first light of day filter through the palm trees as he shared a simple breakfast with Maria. In those early hours, he would sit quietly by the window of their modest home, listening to the soft hum of the neighborhood waking up, feeling a sense of calm that he had never known before. The weight of responsibility, once seen as a burden, began to feel like a source of strength, a guiding force that brought clarity to his thoughts and a renewed sense of purpose. Building a home together was a gradual process filled with both small victories and inevitable challenges. There were days when they painted walls, shared laughter over makeshift meals, and worked side by side in a small garden where Maria taught him how to tend to the earth. The work was hard and the days long, but each moment spent nurturing their home became a reminder of the value of commitment. He learned to appreciate the simple tasks, the sound of a hammer echoing in a quiet room, the scent of fresh paint, mingling with the earthy aroma of the garden, and the gentle conversation that flowed as naturally as the breeze through an open window. In these shared activities, the idea of family took on a tangible form, a mosaic of moments that built a foundation stronger than any he had ever known on his travels. There were times when the memories of his past life, the endless nights under foreign skies, the spontaneous decisions that had once defined him, rose up in his mind like shadows. In those quiet moments, he wondered if he was giving up too much of what had made him who he was. Yet, as he looked into Maria's eyes, or felt the soft flutter of life growing within her, he was reminded that every decision has its own beauty and worth. The world he had known was vast and full of wonders, but it was also a place of impermanence, where moments passed like grains of sand through his fingers. In contrast, the prospect of family offered something lasting, a bond that would endure through the seasons of change and the unpredictable turns of fate. Over time, he discovered that accepting responsibility was not a sacrifice, but a profound opportunity. It opened up a new realm of experiences where the focus shifted from a never-ending search to a deep appreciation of the present. With every shared smile, every small victory in building their life together, he found himself feeling more grounded. The casual encounters and fleeting thrills of his past had given way to a life filled with meaning, a life where every small act of care contributed to a larger picture of hope and togetherness. He began to see that the happiness he had long sought in distant lands was not found in the endless pursuit of novelty, but in the tender moments of everyday life, a kind word, a shared meal, a quiet evening spent in each other's company. Now, the vibrant neighborhoods of the Philippines, life moved at a pace that allowed him to savor each moment. The close-knit community around him offered a network of support and friendship that made the transition smoother. Neighbors would often drop by, sharing stories of their own experiences, and inviting him to partake in local festivities that celebrated everything from harvests to simple acts of gratitude. It was in these moments, as he sat around modest tables, with friends and family, that he realized how important it was to recognize opportunities that might seem small at first, but held the power to change one's life forever. The chance to be part of something lasting, something built on mutual care and shared dreams, was a lesson he carried close to his heart. As the months passed and the expectation of new life grew closer, the change in his character became evident, not only to him but to everyone around him. The traveler who had once moved through life with a restless energy was slowly replaced by a man who found solace in routine, who discovered that stability and security could coexist with the thrill of life's surprises. His conversations, once filled with the excitement of uncharted paths, now resonated with the quiet joy of building a future. In the soft glow of dusk, as he walked along the narrow streets of his neighborhood with Maria by his side, there was a serene understanding in his eyes, a recognition that true fulfillment often comes from accepting the precious gifts that life presents, even when they require a different kind of strength than what he had known before. There were challenges along the way, of course. Adapting to a new way of life after years of constant movement was not without its moments of doubt and hesitation. Some days the memories of his former adventures would call to him like a distant echo, tempting him with the possibility of returning to the freedom he once cherished. But every time that call arose, he would find himself drawn back to the warmth of the home he was building, to the gentle comfort of Maria's presence, and to the promise of a life that was richer for the sacrifices made. The responsibilities that came with preparing for a child, the quiet planning of a future filled with family traditions and shared hopes, began to weave themselves into the fabric of his days, each moment a thread that connected him to something far greater than himself. In time, the thought of exploring new horizons transformed into an appreciation for the beauty of staying in one place. The traveler's heart, which had once pounded with the thrill of distant lands and endless possibilities, now beat in tune, with a more measured rhythm, a rhythm that celebrated the joy of coming home, of being part of a community, and of nurturing relationships that would last a lifetime. He learned to recognize that the value of an opportunity is not measured by the distance traveled or the number of sights seen, but by the depth of connection and the lasting impact it has on one's soul. In embracing the commitment to build a family, he found a kind of happiness that was both unexpected and deeply rewarding, a steady light that outshone the fleeting sparks of his earlier adventures. As the anticipation of welcoming a new life grew, he took comfort in the knowledge that he was no longer a solitary wanderer, but a part of a collective that thrived on shared dreams and mutual support. Every conversation with a neighbor, every smile exchanged with a friend, and every piece of advice he received about parenthood reinforced the idea that there was beauty in responsibility. He listened intently to the elders who spoke of the challenges and joys of raising a child, absorbing their wisdom like precious words passed down through generations. With each shared story, he felt more prepared to take on the role of a father, to be someone who would guide and protect, nurture and inspire. The transformation in him was gradual, yet unmistakable. The years of wandering, with all their beauty and lessons, had prepared him for this moment of profound change. He no longer saw his past as a collection of lost chances, but as a mosaic of experiences that had led him to this very place. Each step he had taken around the globe, every face he had met, and every lesson learned, now fit together to form a picture of a man ready to embrace the full spectrum of life's responsibilities. The excitement of discovering new lands had given way to the quiet joy of building a life that was deep and full of meaning. In the small, lively town in the Philippines, every day brought a new rhythm. The mornings were filled with the sound of roosters crowing and the gentle chatter of neighbors greeting one another on the way to the local market. In the afternoons, the sun cast a warm glow over the fields and streets, a reminder of the beauty that could be found in the simplest moments. Evenings were a time of reflection and conversation, as families gathered to share meals and recount the day's events. In this serene environment, the traveler who had once roamed the world found that his heart was finally at peace. The responsibilities he had chosen to embrace were not a chain that bound him, but rather a gift that allowed him to experience love and stability in ways he had never imagined possible. Maria, with her gentle smile and steadfast determination, became the center of his new world. Together, they navigated the complexities of preparing for a child, from choosing a small, comfortable home to making plans for a future that was both uncertain and full of promise. Each task they undertook was a step toward building a safe haven, a place where love and commitment could flourish. He learned to see the beauty in each small effort: a repaired window, a freshly painted wall, the careful selection of furniture that would one day witness the laughter of their child. In these moments, the world that had once been defined by endless horizons began to shrink into a space that was both intimate and filled with endless potential. Through all the challenges, there was a growing sense of gratitude for the chance to be a part of something that was real and enduring. He discovered that the true measure of a life well lived was not found in the miles traveled or the number of countries visited, but in the relationships forged and the love shared along the way. The commitment to build a family brought him not only happiness and stability, but also a deeper understanding of the meaning of home. It was a reminder that every opportunity, no matter how unexpected, could hold the key to a future far richer than any he had ever dared to dream. In the quiet moments before sleep, he would often sit by the window of their humble dwelling and gaze at the stars, feeling a sense of wonder that was both old and new. The vast sky above, which had once symbolized the endless roads of his past, now spoke of a universe where every choice had led him to this point, a place where the simple act of embracing responsibility had transformed his life in ways that were both subtle and profound. His heart, which had known so many adventures, now beat with a steady, confident rhythm that echoed the promise of tomorrow and the promise of a new life that was about to begin. And so, as the gentle night gave way to the soft glow of dawn, he looked forward to each new day with a quiet optimism, a readiness to face whatever came next with the love and support that had finally found a home in his heart. The story of the traveler who once roamed the world had taken a turn that was both unexpected and deeply fulfilling, a story that now held within it the promise of a bright future and the possibility of a happiness that was anchored in the beauty of commitment. As the sound of the morning breeze mingled with the distant call of a waking town, he felt that his life was just beginning a new, important chapter, leaving him to wonder what other valuable opportunities and heartfelt lessons awaited in the unfolding days ahead. In life, the opportunities for real love are as rare and precious as a winning hand in a casino, and they must never be taken for granted. Imagine walking into a bustling casino where every light sparkles with promise, and every spin of the wheel holds the chance of a big win. Yet, amid all the excitement and noise, only a few players ever hit the jackpot on their very first try. Much like that elusive win in a game of chance, true love often appears unexpectedly, and when it does, it is something you have to hold on to tightly. Every moment spent in search of fleeting thrills and superficial encounters is like playing a slot machine over and over, hoping that luck will favor you just once. However, true love is not about endless attempts. It is about recognizing that rare win when it comes your way and cherishing it with all your heart. As you walk through the casino of life, you might be tempted to bet on every opportunity that comes your way, much like many who place coin after coin on the shimmering reels, chasing that moment of glory. But the reality is that genuine connections are few and far between, and they require more than just luck. They require understanding, commitment, and an open heart. When that moment of true love appears, it is as if the universe has aligned all the odds in your favor. The rare chance that you get a glimpse of a love that is sincere, deep, and real is something that, once seen, should inspire you to pause and reflect on its immense value. To let such a moment pass by would be like watching the winning numbers flicker by on the roulette wheel without taking a seat at the table when the stakes are highest. This analogy of the casino reminds us that in a world full of random chances and uncertain outcomes, every real opportunity for love is a jackpot that can change the course of your life. It is not a gamble that you can afford to take lightly. Just as few people win the big prize on their first try, few of us get the chance to experience a love that truly transforms us. When it does happen, you need to set aside your doubts and distractions. For love does not come with a second chance in the same form. The experience of holding on to that love, nurturing it, and building a life around it can lead to a happiness and fulfillment that no game of chance could ever offer. Sometimes the casino of life tempts you with the thrill of risk, where every new face, every fleeting connection feels like a chance at something extraordinary. But the lesson is clear. The value of what you have in a genuine relationship far outweighs the excitement of chasing after every possible win. It is in the quiet moments of shared laughter, in the gentle support during difficult times, and in the everyday acts of kindness that the true richness of love reveals itself. These are the moments that are not measured by the number of attempts or the flash of neon lights, but by the depth of the bond and the comfort of knowing that you have found something rare and enduring. In the end, the analogy of the casino teaches us that when luck finally smiles upon you with a real chance at love, you must grasp it firmly and appreciate its worth before it slips away into the night. It is a reminder that every true opportunity in life is a gift that should be treasured, a moment to be held dear long after the lights of the casino have dimmed. And so, as you stand at the threshold of these profound experiences, the question remains, how will you choose to play your hand when the chance of a lifetime is right before you? Thank you for joining me on this heartfelt journey of reflection on the rare and precious opportunities for true love. I invite you to share your own stories of love and the opportunities you may have missed in the comments below. Your experiences, whether of a win or a close call, are important and can inspire others to recognize and cherish the moments that truly matter. If this message touched your heart, Please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of our shared journey. Let's continue to learn from one another and remember that every experience is a chance to grow and find the love we deserve. What are your thoughts on holding on to those rare moments before they fade away?